I shot my boss in the knee during the company gala, right there in front of the crystal chandeliers and the whispering elite of DC's defense contractor circle. His blood splattering like abstract art on the white tablecloth. The room froze, not in horror, but in that sick fascination Americans have for train wrecks unfolding in tuxedos, while I stood there, Glock still smoking in my grip, wondering if this was the revenge I'd scripted in my head for 3 years, or just the suicide note I'd always meant to write. And then, from the shadows by the bar, his golden boy, the Navy SEAL protégé he'd molded like clay, stepped forward and whispered a single word into the chaos. Ours. That word hung in the air like tear gas after a riot, sucking the oxygen from 200 lungs. Because it wasn't just a command, it was a confession. A key turning in a lock we'd all pretended didn't exist. My name is Jack Harlan, and this is how I unraveled the man who built me, broke me, and left me holding the bag for his sins. But hell, in Washington, sins aren't absolved, they're auctioned off to the highest bidder. And tonight, the bidding war was just getting started. I'd always known Victor Kane was a son of a bitch, but I didn't realize how deep his brand of American exceptionalism ran until it carved its initials into my soul.
We met back in 09.
When the economy was still puking up the last of the housing bubble and I was a fresh-faced analyst at Blackthorn Security, one of those shadowy firms that dotted the Beltway like ticks on a hound. Victor was the kingpin then, mid-50s, silver fox with a jaw like a Roman emperor, eyes that could size up a room's net worth in seconds. He spotted me across the bullpen, buried in spreadsheets on Afghan reconstruction kickbacks, and plucked me out like I was the next big thing in venture capital. "You're wasted on numbers, Harlan," he'd said, clapping a hand on my shoulder that felt like a vice. "You got that killer instinct. Come work for me direct. We'll make America safe and rich." I bought it hook, line, and sinker. Who wouldn't? In a city where loyalty's just another commodity. Victor preached it like gospel. He mentored me, fast-tracked me to VP in 2 years flat. Dinners at Morton's, weekends at his McLean estate where he'd grill me on Sun Tzu over scotch that cost more than my first car. "Loyalty's the only currency that doesn't crash," he'd say, toasting with that wolfish grin. But loyalty's a two-way street, and Victor's was paved with bodies. The first crack showed in 2012, during Operation Shadow Ledger, a black budget op to funnel arms to Syrian rebels without the pesky oversight of Congress. I was his right hand, coordinating logistics from a nondescript warehouse in Alexandria. It was supposed to be clean, untraceable shipments, deniable assets.
Until the intercept.
Some low-level State Department clerk got cold feet, leaked manifests to WikiLeaks. The fallout was biblical: Senate hearings, FBI raids, the whole circus. Victor emerged unscathed, of course, spinning it as deep state sabotage on Fox, while I took the heat. Pleaded out to misdemeanor conspiracy. Did 18 months in a low SEC joint upstate. Lost my clearance, my wife, everything. They called it taking one for the team. Victor visited me once, in that sterile visiting room that smelled like bleach and broken dreams. "You did good, Jack. Kept the machine running. When you get out, we'll fix this." Bigger than before. His eyes were sincere. Or so I thought, practiced.
More like.
I nodded, swallowing the rage. Because what else do you do when the man who fed you to the wolves promises scraps? Out in 2015, the world had moved on.
DC.
Chews up and spits out faster than a Vegas slot machine. Blackthorn had rebranded to Apex Dynamics. And Victor was CEO of something even bigger, a consortium called Patriot Veil, whispering in the ears of senators and generals alike. I clawed my way back, odd jobs consulting for think tanks, ghostwriting op-eds on national security realism.
But the scar tissue itched.
Nights I'd wake up sweating, replaying the courtroom, the judge's gavel, Elena's hand slipping from mine as she walked out, whispering, "I can't wait for a ghost, Jack." Then came the gala. Apex's annual shindig at the Kennedy Center. Black ties and backroom deals disguised as philanthropy. I'd finagled an invite through an old contact. Figure it was time to collect on that "we'll fix this" promise. Show up. Remind Victor of his debt. Maybe snag a position that'd get me back on the ladder.
Naive? Yeah.
But hope's a hell of a drug in a town built on it. The hall glittered like fool's gold, chandeliers dripping light onto faces Botoxed into perpetual surprise. I nursed a bourbon at the bar, scanning for Victor. He was holding court near the podium, surrounded by the usual suspects, a cluster of aides, a senator with a spray tan, and there, his shadow, Cole Ramsey. The Protégé.
Excel.
Delta Force whisper. The kid Victor had plucked from the sandbox wars and polished into a weapon. Mid-30s. Built like a brick shithouse. Buzz-cut blonde. Eyes like chipped ice. Cole didn't smile much, he assessed. Victor doted on him, called him the future in boardrooms, while I was the cautionary tale. I approached as the speeches wound down, heart pounding like a war drum. Victor spotted me mid-sentence, his face flickering, recognition, then calculation. "Jack Harlant," he boomed, loud enough to turn heads. "The prodigal son returns. Gentlemen, this is the man who kept our secrets when the wolves came howling." Laughter rippled, polite but edged. He pulled me into a bear hug, clapping my back harder than necessary. "What brings you slumming it with us as beans?" I forced a grin. "Just checking in."
Vic.
That promise from 13, thought maybe it was time to cash it. His eyes narrowed. Just a fraction. But I caught it. The room's chatter dipped as he steered me toward the mic, arms slung casual around my shoulders. "Cash it?
Jack.
Your family." But let's give the room a taste of what real loyalty looks like. Before I could blink, he was improvising, turning my return into a roast. "See? Jack, here's the ultimate patriot. Took a fall so we could all keep flying. 18 months in the Gray Bar Hotel. And he comes out smiling. That's America. Folks, resilient as hell. More laughs. But sharper now." He leaned in, mic hot, voice dropping conspiratorial. "But between us, Jack's got that old school code. Sworn to silence on."
Well.
"You know." He winked at the crowd. And that's when it landed, the humiliation. Surgical and public. "Ours," he echoed, like it was our little joke. But the word twisted in my gut. It was the ops codename. Shadow Ledger. He'd just outed the ghost in the room, painting me as the fall guy for laughs. The applause was thunderous, backslaps raining down, but I felt the floor tilt. Cole watched from the edge. Unreadable. Victor released me with a flourish. To Jack, the man who knows when to zip it. Champagne flutes clinked, and I stood there, a punchline in a tailored suit, the secret I'd buried bleeding out for cocktail fodder. That's when I snapped. The Glock was in my ankle holster, habit from the old days. Never shook it. I didn't plan it, it was muscle memory, the kind that gets you through firefights or betrayals. One fluid motion. Up and out. the suppressor muffling the pop to a cough. Victor buckled, howling as his knee exploded in red mist, the mic amplifying his scream into something operatic. Chaos erupted, screams, overturned chairs, security swarming like ants on sugar. And Cole moved like liquid shadow, inserting himself between me and the guards, his whisper cutting through the din. Ours. The room went tomb silent. Because ours wasn't just a word.
It was the op.
The betrayal. The secret I'd carried alone while Victor climbed higher. And in that moment, with his boss writhing on the marble, Cole had chosen a side, or revealed there were no sides at all. What happened next? That's the part where the real revenge begins. The kind that doesn't end with a bullet but with a scalpel, carving out truths in a city that devours its own. I didn't know it then, but Cole's whisper was the first thread pulled, unraveling the tapestry Victor had woven around us all. And as the cuffs clicked on my wrists, I smiled for the first time in years. Because payback, in DC, isn't served cold, it's fermented, aged to perfection.
And poured neat.
The holding cell at MPD's first district smelled like stale coffee and regret, the kind that seeps into your pores after a bender you can't remember. Fluorescent buzz overhead. A bench bolted to cinder block that dug into my spine like accusatory fingers. I'd been here before. Post-arrest in 12. But that was paperwork and posturing. This was attempted murder on a titan, the kind that makes front pages and career endings. They processed me quick, prints, mugshot, the works, while outside, I could hear the circus revving up, sirens, shouted questions from the press pen. Harlan, motive? Was it the ledger leak? Christ. They'd connected us faster than a caffeinated intern. By dawn, my face would be pixelated on CNN, the disgruntled ex-con narrative locked and loaded. Cole's whisper looped in my head. Ours. What the hell did it mean? Loyalty to Victor. Or something darker. The SEALs train you to read intent in a glance. But Cole was opaque as black ops ink. I'd seen him once before the gala, at a Patriot Vale mixer in Georgetown. Victor parading him like a trophy. Cole, here's the real deal, took down a HVT in Mosul with a knife and prayers. Cole had nodded. Polite. But his eyes flicked to me, assessing the has-been.
Now.
He'd uttered the forbidden codename in open air. Was it a signal? A threat? Or the crack in Victor's armor I'd been praying for? The door clanged, and in walked Elena. My ex. God. She looked good, still. After all these years. Tailored pantsuit. Hair pulled back in that no-nonsense bun. Eyes green as envy. She'd filed papers the day after sentencing. Cited irreconcilable differences like it was a parking ticket. But there she was, bailing me out on a Templar's dime. Jack, she said, voice flat as Potomac fog. What the fuck? I rubbed my wrists where the cuffs had bitten. Evening. Honey. Come for the show. She didn't laugh. Never did anymore. Victor's lawyered up already. Says it was a tragic misunderstanding. You're looking at life. Minimum. And for what? A grudge from a decade ago. 13 months. I corrected.
Standing.
That's how long he let me rot while he got the corner office.
She sighed.
Signing the release forms with a flourish that screamed, I told you so. Elena was a fixer now. Crisis comms for a hill firm. Irony's a bitch. You think shooting him in the knee fixes anything? He's untouchable. Jack. Always was. We stepped into the lobby. Flashbulbs popping like gunfire. She shielded her face. steering me to a black SUV idling curbside. Inside, leather seats and that new car smell clashing with my sweat. Drive, she told the wheelman. Some associate I didn't recognize. As we peeled out,
She turned to me.
Cole called me. Said to get you out clean.
Said. Ours.
What does that even mean? My pulse spiked. You talked to Cole? After the gala. He pulled strings, got your bail expedited. Said you two go way back. She eyed me sidelong. Care to fill in the gaps? Or is this another Harlan secret? Way back. Bullshit. I'd barely exchanged 10 words with the guy. But as the SUV merged onto 395, the city lights smearing past like accusations, pieces clicked. Shadow Ledger wasn't just arms, it was ghosts. In 11,
Pay up.
Victor had me in bed with a rebel cell in Aleppo, off books, no support. That's where I met Tarek, a defector with eyes like Cole's, haunted, calculating. Tarek fed us intel on Assad's chem stockpiles. But he had a price, safe passage for his family. I greenlit it. Falsified manifests to route them stateside. They vanished en route. Chalked up to collateral. But I'd seen the manifests. Signatures. Cole's.
No. Couldn't be.
Cole was stateside then. Training at Quantico. Or was he? The SEAL pipeline's murky. Black ops don't leave paper trails. If Cole was the handler, if he'd buried those manifests to cover a botched exfil, then ours wasn't loyalty. It was complicity. We'd both carried that weight. Me, the fall guy, him, the blade. Elena, I said, voice rough. You ever wonder why Victor picked me for the op? Not some ivy wet behind the ears? She glanced out the window, jaw tight. Because you were disposable.
Like me?
Once.
Ouch. Fair.
We'd met at Blackthorn, her in legal. Me in ops. She saw the ambition. The fire. Married in a courthouse rush.
DC.
Style. But after the plea, she saw the bars closing in. I loved you.
Jack.
But love doesn't pay mortgages when you're persona non grata. The SUV dropped us at her condo in Foggy Bottom, neutral ground.
She said.
Inside, it was all sleek minimalism, whites, grays, abstract art that screamed, I've moved on. She poured scotch.
Neat.
Handed me one. Cole's meeting us. Said it's about the family. Tarek's. Her eyes widened. You remember his name? Like a scar. I downed the drink. Fire blooming in my chest. If Cole's involved, the buzzer cut me off. Cole Ramsey. In civvies, jeans. Henley stretched over traps like coiled springs, a duffel slung over one shoulder. He nodded at Elena. Then me, respectful.
But edged.
Harlan.
Clean shot.
Vic limp. But he'll walk. Appreciate the poetry, I said.
Door clicking shut.
Now talk. Ours. You trying to recruit me for the sequel. Or confess. He dropped the duffel. Unzipped it slow. Inside. Files. Thick as a Bible. Manila folders stamped, eyes only, redacted blacks bleeding through. Sequel's already playing. Vic's not the author. He slid one across the coffee table, my name on the tab. Inside. My plea deal. Annotated. Highlights. Discrepancies in timelines. Signatures forged in Victor's chicken scratch. You took the fall for Shadow. But it wasn't just arms. It was leverage. Vic sold the manifests to the Russians, post-leak. Pocketed 20 mil to fund Patriot Vale. My gut hollowed. And you knew? Guessed. Cole's voice was gravel. Seal flat. I ran point on exfils. Tark's family? They made it to Istanbul. Then poof. Vic's cutout handled the rest. I buried it to protect the unit. But when he hung you out,
Elena interrupted.
flipping through another folder. This is treason.
Cole. Actual sedición.
Welcome to the club.
He met my eyes. Steady.
I whispered, ours, because it's time we owned it. Together. The room tilted again. But this time it was alliance, not vertigo. Victor wasn't just a betrayer, he was a traitor, flipping sides like a weather vane in a scandal. And we'd been his pawns, me the scapegoat, Cole the enforcer. But revenge? That meant going deeper, dragging skeletons into the light. Secrets like Tarek's ghosts, Elena's lingering what-ifs, my own fractured code. All right, I said, extending a hand. Partners. But if this goes south, Cole gripped. Firm.
It will.
That's the fun part. Dawn broke over the Potomac, gilding the monuments in false gold. We pored over files till our eyes burned, wire transfers to cypress shells, emails coded in baseball scores, a ledger of senators on the take. Victor's empire, built on my blood. But the real hook? A photo tucked in the last folder, Tarek. Alive. Graying in a Queen's safe house. Victor hadn't killed him. He'd relocated him as leverage. For what? A bigger play, Patriot Vale's next contract. Arming Ukrainian proxies, with a side deal to Putin. Elena paced. Phone glued to her ear. Spinning damage control. We leak this. It's mutually assured destruction. Careers. Lives. Victor's life. I cut in. Ours is already ash. Cole nodded. Step 1 bait. I get close to Vic's inner circle. You play the loose end. Loose end. The word stung, but fit. That afternoon, I lawyered up Elena's firm. Pro bono with strings. Bail hearing was a media frenzy. Judge set it at $1 million. But Cole's strings pulled tighter. Out by dusk. Tagged with an ankle monitor like a tagged bear. First move, a burner call to Victor's direct line.
Beak.
It's Jack. We need to talk. About ours. His laugh was tinny.
Pained.
You ball's a bastard. Knees throbbing. But spirits unbroken.
Come see me.
Neutral ground. Tomorrow noon. Lincoln Memorial. Trap?
Probably.
But in D.C., every meeting's a trap. As I hung up, Cole texted, watch your 6. He's flipping scripts again. Flipping.
Yeah.
Victor's MO, ally one day, mark the next. But this time, I had the drop. Or so I thought. The Lincoln Memorial loomed like a stone judge at noon. Tourists milling oblivious under the marble gaze. I arrived early. Ankle monitor chafing like a guilty conscience. Glock swapped for recorder in my coat pocket. Cole tailed discreet. Blending into the reflecting pool crowd, sunglasses. Ball cap. That predator slouch. Elena monitored from a van 2 blocks out. Feeds patched from hidden cams we'd rigged overnight. Paranoia? In this game, it's prep. Victor was already there. Perched on the steps like Lincoln's bastard son. Cane in hand, knee bandaged under slacks. But his suit was bespoke perfection, Zegna. Probably blood money tailored. He spotted me, waved with that disarming grin.
Jack.
You clean up nice for a kneecapper. I sat a step below, keeping distance. Save the charm.
Beak.
We both know why I'm here. Do we? He lit a cigar, Cuban. Illegal as hell, puffing slow. You pop me in front of God and MSNBC. Then waltz free on bail. Guts or gall. Call it clarity. I leaned in, voice low. Shadow ledger. The manifests. You sold us out for what? A yacht in the Caymans? His eyes flickered surprise? Amusement? Hard to tell with prose. Bold claims. Harlan. Got proof? Or just barroom blues? I tap my pocket. Recorder whirring silent. Enough to bury you. Russian cutouts. Senator payoffs. And Tarek? Still breathing. Waiting to sing. The cigar paused mid-drag. Tarek. He exhaled smoke like a dragon. The ghost. You think I whacked him?
Nah.
Jack. That's not business. That's personal. He shifted, wincing theatrical. Truth? I saved him. Plucked from the rubble. Resettled. Man's got a debt, intel on chem sites. Ongoing. Liar. But doubt wormed in. Victor's flips were legendary. One briefing he'd preach no loose ends. Next he'd spin mercy as strategy. Then why hang me out? Plea deal. My name on every charge. He chuckled.
Dark.
Because you volunteered. Son. Remember Aleppo? You signed off on the exfil, ghosted the family to cover your ass. Cole reported it upchain. I cleaned up your mess. Bullshit. Or was it? Memories blurred, dust-choked safe houses. Frantic SAT calls. Had I cut corners? Blamed the ops fog? Cole's involvement twisted it further. If he'd fed Victor the lie. Think on it, Victor said, standing with a grunt. Loyalty's a circle.
Jack.
Break it. It bites back. He tossed a thumb drive at my feet. Homework. Then we talk real terms. I snatched it as he limped away, cane tapping like Morse code. Cole materialized seconds later, scanning the crowd. Clean exit. For him. I slotted the drive into my phone, encrypted files. Manifests mirroring mine, but with my initials forged bolder. He's gaslighting. Says I ghosted Tarek. Cole's jaw ticked. Possible. Ops get sloppy. But Vic's the forger. I've seen his hand. We rendezvoused at Elena's. Drive decrypted on her laptop. It was a mirror maze, evidence implicating me deeper, but cross-referenced with Victor's emails to Kremlin proxies. The twist? A memo dated post-leak. Harlan expendable. Promote Ramsey. Cole's rise. Paved on my fall. Elena scrolled, face paling. This is checkers, not chess. He's baiting you to flip, then countersues for defamation. Or worse. Cole pulled a SAT photo, Victor's estate. Last night. Heat signatures, 3 bodies.
Armed.
He's circling wagons. We hit back now. Hit back. The word thrilled. Terrified. Revenge wasn't a shot in the knee, it was systemic, expose the rot. Watch the empire crumble. But controversy brewed. Leak the files. And innocence scorched. Senators with families. Aides with mortgages. Cole's unit. Dragged into treason probes. And me, the shooter. Credibility in the toilet. That night, we planned over takeout Thai, spicy enough to match the tension. Step 2. Infiltrate. Cole had in Victor's recovery gala in 2 days. Low-key at the Hay Adams. Elena finagled invites via her firm. I was her +1. Reformed consultant.
Cole?
Shadow entry. SEAL skills for bugs and breather. But the monitor, I protested. Cut it, Cole said. Casual as clipping nails. I've got a jammer. Elena balked. Tamper with federal hardware? Jack. Or rot in pretrial. I met her gaze. You in or out? She hesitated, then nodded.
In.
But if this blows. It will, Cole echoed. We adapt. The Hay Adams dripped old money, plush carpets. Views of the White House like a taunt. We arrived fashionably late. Elena radiant in emerald silk that hugged curves I'd forgotten.
Me?
Tux off rack. But the fire in my eyes passed for polish. Victor held court in the lounge. Knee propped on velvet. Charm dialed to 11. Spotting us. He beamed. Elena.
Jack.
To what do I owe? Ah. Reconciliation. She air-kissed his cheek. Business.
Victor.
My firm's eyeing veil contracts.
Jack's.
Advising. His laugh boomed. The advisor who advises with lead. Join us. Us. A circle of vipers, senators, lobbyists. A general with more stars than morals. Cole slipped in unseen, planting a bug under the sideboard. I played along, clinking glasses, dropping hints. Heard the ledgers got sequels.
Beak.
Ghosts coming home, his eyes sharpened over the rim. Ghosts? Only if you summon him. Then, casual. Speaking of,
Cole's here.
fetch him. Would you? My blood iced. Cole, summoned? He materialized minutes later. Impeccable in Armani. But his nod to me was loaded. Boss. Victor clapped his shoulder. My rock. Pulled strings for your bail.
Jack.
Loyalty.
Ah.
The bug fed to Elena's earpiece. Clean audio. But as the night wore on, flips accelerated. Victor pulled me aside during dessert. Whisper harsh. Cut the games. Drop the files. I clear a record. Full reinstatement.
Tempting, I lied.
But Tarek sings. You're done. He smiled. Serpent. Tarek's mine. And if you push Elena's firm, one call. Audited to oblivion.
Threat.
Classic Victor, hit where it hurts. Then offer salve. I glanced at Elena. Laughing with the general, Cole. Scanning exits. The room pulsed with tension. Deals whispered in corners. The air thick with cigar haze and unspoken sins. Back at the condo. Bug harvest. Victor on tape. Admitting the Russian payoffs. Necessary evil for the greater good. But the kicker? A call to an unknown. Ramsey's wavering. Neutralize if needed. Cole's face hardened.
Me.
He's turning. Betrayal squared. Victor. Scheming against his protégé now. Or bluff. The lines blurred. No heroes here. Just survivors picking sides in a war of shadows.
We end it, I said.
Leak tomorrow. Full court press. Elena protested. Controversy. Exactly. Cole grinned. Feral. America loves a scandal. Let's give M1. As thunder rumbled outside.
DC.
Style. Summer storm brewing. I felt the noose tighten. Revenge was close. But at what cost? The decision loomed. gray as the skies. Leak day dawned muggy. The kind of DC heat that sticks to your soul. We holed up in a DuPont Circle safe house, Cole's bolt hole, stocked with MREs and burner laptops, walls papered in threat maps. Elena paced like a caged panther, phone blowing up with firm alerts. Victor's people sniffing. Cole monitored dark web drops, files anonymized through Tor chains.
Me?
I drafted the manifesto, not some Unabomber screed, but a surgical takedown, timelines,
Docs.
the works. Titled it Ours, The Cost of Exceptional Lies. Too poetic, Elena sniped, scanning the draft. Make it punchier. Hill's staffer skim. They're the audience, I countered. Senators too chicken shit for nuance. Cole chuckled from the console. Nuance is for losers. Drop it raw, WikiLeaks style. Let the bots amplify. We timed it for 10 a.m. Peak Beltway caffeine crash. Files hit 3 vectors. A journalist at Walpo, Elena's old flame, greased with a tip. A Reddit thread in r/true crime politics. And a X thread from a sock puppet with Cole's op-SEC flair. Then radio silence, monitors off. Doors barred. The wait was agony, like watching a fuse burn toward dynamite. By noon, it ignited. Elena's feeds lit up. Walpo teaser. Patriot Veil scandal. Treason or patriotism? Twitter, X, whatever, exploded with ours gate. Memes of Victor as Benedict Arnold in a suit. Cable news looped my gala shot. Pundits bang. Vigilante justice or whistleblower? Controversy bloomed. Beautiful and barbed. One talking head. Harlan's a hero.
Exposing corruption.
Cut to. No. He's a thug shot first. Leaked second. Victor struck back fast, presser from his bedside. Me elevated like a martyr's relic. Smear campaign by a bitter ex-employee. These files are forgeries. We're suing for everything, defamation, libel, the works. But his eyes darted, sweat beading under studio lights.
Cracks.
The backlash hit us sideways. Elena's firm suspended her, pending investigation. My bail revoked. Warrants pinged. Cole's phone buzzed. Old SEAL buddies. You in this shit? Units expose. He smashed it. Face stone. Collateral. They're not, I snapped. We are. Dusk brought the knock, FBI. Polite but iron. Mr. Harlan? Special Agent Reyes. Mind if we chat? Elena stalled at the door. Cole and I ghosting out the fire escape to a backup ride. Beat up Civic. Plates swapped. We ditched it in Anacostia. Melting into foot traffic, hoodies, cash metro cards. Elena texted, clear for now. They're fishing. Fishing turned to hunting by midnight. Victor's counter, a dossier drop on me. Fabricated emails proving I'd masterminded Shadow's leaks for personal gain. Suddenly, I wasn't fall guy, I was mastermind. Pundits flipped. Harlan's the real traitor, using Cole as patsy. Sides fractured. Readers, viewers, picking teams in comment wars. Team Victor, cleaning house, versus Team Jack, fuck the elite. We crashed at Tarek's, Queens, not DC. A hasty flight on a charter Cole borrowed. The defector's setup was low rent. Walk up in Astoria. Falafel joint below masking the scent of paranoia. Tarek greeted us wary. Older than memory, gray beard. Limp from shrapnel. Harlan. The American who promised. Promised and failed, I said, shaking his hand. Here to square it. He led us to a back room. Walls lined with corkboards, photos, clippings, a timeline of betrayals.
Victor relocated me, yes. But not mercy.
Leverage. I feed him scraps on old networks. He dangles citizenship for my boy. Your son? Cole asked, scanning the board. Tarek nodded, eyes wet.
Omar.
15.
Dreams of NASA.
But Victor whispers, one wrong word. Deported. The human cost. Always the gut punch. Revenge's glamour faded. This was mud. The gray where right and wrong blurred. Had I known in Aleppo, buried it for the mission? Cole's silence screamed complicity. He'd signed the manifests.
We end it, I said.
Testimony. You go public. Tarek balked. My family, safe.
Cole's vow. Sal still.
I'll extract. Nights blurred in Astoria. Strategy sessions over hookah. Elena videoing in from a motel. Victor's flips escalated, lobbying leaks to frame us as Russian assets. Then olive branches via back channels. Drop it. Amnesty for all. But the hook. Immunity for Cole. Exile for me. Divide and conquer, Elena analyzed. He's peeling us.
Cole paced.
Or testing. I go in, feign flip. Dangerous. Cole as Trojan horse? Victor's trust was tissue-thin. One whiff of deceit. He'd bury him. But alternatives sucked. Run forever. Or fade into irrelevance. Do it. I greenlit. But wire up. Full feed. Cole's insertion. A loyalty call to Victor's chief of staff. Spilling half-truths. Harlan's unhinged. Count me out. By dawn. Summons. McLean Estate. Victor's lair. We tailed from a wooded overlook.
Parabolic mic-cacking fragments.
Cole's mic crackled. Boss. The leak. Harlan's play. Victor's voice. Oiled. Knew it. Good man. Help me end him.
Pause.
Eternal. Ours, Cole whispered. Laughter. Victor's. Attaboy. But the files you held him? Affirm.
Lie.
Smooth. Then the flip. Ramsey. Check this study safe. Gift for your service.
Click. Door.
Silence.
Elena's van agonized, yes in.
20 minutes felt years. Then, safe dial. Papers rustle. Cole. What the? Victor. Off mic but clear. Insurance. Your signatures.
Boy.
On the Russian drops. You thought I forgot. Betrayal's knife. Twisting.
Cole.
Framed too? Or deeper game. The feed cut, jammer. Gunshots? Heart in throat. We mobilized. Breached the estate. Extraction. Storming McLean at midnight. Cole's plan. My execution. Fences clipped. Guards neutralized non-lethal seal code. Inside. Opulence mocked us. Crystal. Leather. Walls of art that was laundered bribes. We found them in the study, Victor. Cane gun drawn. Cole. Zip-tied. Bloodied lip. Harlan. Victor barked. Pivoting. The cavalry. Predictable. I raised hands. Elena behind with trank dart. It's over.
Beak.
Tarek's talking. Files are viral. He sneered. Viral? Like herpes itchy. But survivable. To Cole. You played me? After Mosul. Cole spat blood. You played us all. The standoff stretched. Tension coiling. Victor's decision loomed. Shoot.
Talk.
Flip again?
His eyes darted. Me. Cole.
The safe spill, Doc's proving his treason. But laced with our forgeries. Choices, he mused. America's about choices. Yours, walk. I burn you slow. Or join real power. Temptation's whisper. Power? After the gutter? But Elena's dart flew true, thwup into Victor's neck. He crumpled, eyes wide in Betrayal's final flip. We freed Cole. Bound Victor. Cops. Elena asked.
No.
Cole's grin.
Dark. Ours.
Dawn and McLean. Sirens distant. We'd won a round. But the war? Victor's machine hummed on. Lieutenants. Allies. And the controversy raged, leaks spawning probes. But spins twisting us as villains. Sides blurring further. With Victor trussed like a holiday turkey in his own panic room, irony's gift, we had hours, maybe days, before his machine ground back. Cole hot-wired the Bentley. Elena at shotgun navigating to a black site rental in rural Virginia, old farmstead. Off-grid. The kind spooks use for conversations. Tarek waited there. Omar wide-eyed beside him. First meet? The kid clutching a drone kit like a shield. You kept your word, Tarek said, gripping my arm. After all. Not yet. I nodded to the trunk. Package delivered. Inside. The farm cellar. Damp stone. Single bulb swinging like a noose. We hauled Victor down. Uncuffed but chained to a support beam, knee oozing. Face pale but defiant. Amateurs, he rasped. You'll swing for this. Save it, Cole said, slapping water in his face.
Talk.
The full ledger. Who's in your pocket? Victor laughed.
Wet. Why?
So you can be me?
Nah.
Power's not files, it's people. Elena set up the recorder, digital. Encrypted. Streaming to a dead man's switch. One wrong move. It blasts to every major outlet. Start with Russia. Names.
Dates.
He eyed her. Calculating. Elena. Sharp as ever. Jack's lucky, wait. No.
Divorced.
Pity. Focus, I growled, leaning in. The air thickened. His cologne clashing with mildew, civilized beast in a cage. Fine. Flip 1, confession. Post-Snowden. Everyone sold.
Me?
I diversified. Kremlin got manifests. In return, dirt on rivals. Senators. Generals, your uncle's poker buddy.
Elena.
He rattled off names. Dates. Amounts a Rolodex of rot. Walpo would feast. Congress would combust. But as he spoke, the gray crept. You think it's black-white? Shadows saved lives, rebels armed. Assad checked. Your betrayal? Pragmatism. Cole pressed. Tarek's family. Why leverage? Victor shrugged. Insurance. Man's a fountain intel gold. Omar? Collateral for flow. The kid upstairs, innocent pawn. My fist clenched, Cole's hand on my shoulder steadied. And me? I asked. The fall? His eyes met mine. Almost paternal. You were rising too fast.
Jack. Threat.
The plea? Mercy, you could have done 20. Lie or truth. Memories warped. My ambition. Pushing ops. Maybe cutting Tarek's corner. The room spun with doubt. Revenge's poison. Making monsters of us all. Elena halted the tape. Enough. This airs. You're done. Victor smiled. Air it. Watch the fallout, your face is on it too. Forged SIGs. Harlan's Aleppo shortcuts. Cole's manifests. We're all soiled. The dilemma hit like a gut punch. Leak full. We drown with him. Controversy splitting public. All corrupt. Versus. Victor's scapegoats. No clean heroes, just flawed men in a flawed system. Suppress? Let him walk. Cancer festers. Cole broke stalemate. We curate. Redact our sins. Expose his ethics. Elena scoffed.
Now.
Survival. His eyes hard, seal pragmatism. Victor overheard. Chuckling.
See?
My boys. Flipping already. We retreated upstairs, debating till stars pricked the sky. Tarek advocated full truth. Lies birth more lies. Elena, strategic cuts. Cole, minimal viable expose.
Me?
Torn, the betrayed seeking purity and impurity. Decision, hybrid. Redact personal. Amplifies systemic. Patriot veil as poster child for contractor corruption. Drop at midnight. Tagged anonymous. As files uploaded. Victor's taunt echoed. You'll regret. Morning brought Armageddon. Outlets erupted. Patriot veil treason ring expose. Hearings called. Stocks tanked. Victor's mug pale. Chained, leaked from sources. Pundits ward. Whistleblower win. Versus. Anarchist hack. Endangers security. X threads dissected. R's gate trending. Polls splitting 48 to 52 on hero or villain. Us.
Ghosts again.
Farm abandoned. We split. Tarek to a new safe house with Omar. Citizenship fast-tracked via Elena's strings. Cole and I to a Baltimore flop. Elena coordinating from a burner spot. But Victor's machine bit back, hit pieces framing the leak as foreign op, bounties whispered on dark forums for the authors. First strike. Tail on me. In a dive bar nursing anonymity. Thug in leather. Blunt instrument. I spotted him mirror-reflected, bolted for the alley. Cole materialized shadow punch. Crack of jaw. Amateurs. Victors? I gasped. Franchise. We ditched the body in the Patapsco, non-lethal. Message sent. But the flips kept coming. Cole's phone, new burner. Pinged. Old CO. Victor spinning, says you're the mole. Units under review. Cole's face cracked. Rare vulnerability. Brothers now suspects. Because of us. Guilt's weight. I dragged him in, his whisper started it. We stop this. Confront. Confront. He barked laugh. Vic's in custody, feds grabbed him post-leak.
Twist.
Custody?
Or play.
Elena confirmed. Arraigned.
Vu by pending, million. No squat.
He's lawyering to flip state's evidence on us. The ultimate reversal. Victor.
Rat.
Trading our crimes for leniency. Painting himself reformer. Public aided. Sympathy swells for the framed titan. We pivoted. Infiltrate the hearing. Cole's contacts smuggled us in back row. Disguised. Victor at the dais. Crutches dramatic. Testimony a masterclass in spin. I suspected Harlan's disloyalty for years. The leak? His revenge porn. Objection overruled. Senators nodded. Rapt. But his eyes scanned the crowd, locked on mine. Wink subtle.
Game on.
Post-hearing. Chaos. Press scrum. We slipped out. Elena waited in a panel van. He's testifying tomorrow, full board.
Then we crash it, I said. Live.
with Tarek.
Risky suicide?
Exposure. But climax brewed. The revenge peak. Forcing the room to choose, truth or power. As we prepped, Cole pulled me aside. One thing.
Jack.
Aleppo, you did cut the exfil. I covered. Confessions bomb.
Why?
Loyalty. Bitter smile.
To you.
Thought it was mercy. Gray deepened. No innocence, just chains of bad calls. The hearing loomed. Tension electric, America watching. Divided. The Senate Dirksen building buzzed like a hornet's nest on hearing day. Metal detectors beeping a symphony of paranoia. We infiltrated via service tunnels, Cole's Black Ops Rolodex yielding a maintenance uniform and a guard's coffee break. Tarek and Omar stashed nearby. The kids' excitement clashing with dread. Like a movie.
Baba.
Tarek shushed him. Eyes on me. Truth or death? Both, I muttered. Clipping a visitor badge forged. Elena's hack. Inside the caucus room. Wood paneling. Flags drooping in AC chill. C-SPAN cams cold-eyed witnesses. Victor at center stage. Haloed by Klieg's. Crutches propped like scepters. Senators arrayed, hawks and doves. All feathers ruffled by scandal. Cole and I in gallery rear. Elena feeding audio from a hidden mic in Victor's briefcase. Parting gift.
Bug sewn in.
Testimony open mild. Recaps of shadow. Patriotic necessities. Then the pivot. But infiltration, Mr. Harlan. My trusted aide. Turned by foreign actors. Evidence suggests he authored the leaks. Framing me to destabilize. Gasps. Murmurs. A hawk senator. Proof. Mr. Kane. Victor slid a folder, my emails, damning.
Here.
Coordination with WikiLeaks proxies. The room tilted toward belief. Power protects its own. Cole's fist clenched, my recorder word. Capturing the lie. But doubt gnawed. If Victor flipped this hard. What counters left? Intermission. Senators caucused. Victor wheeled out for a break. Opportunity. We tailed to a side antechamber. Cole picking the lock, whisper quiet. Inside. Victor alone. Dialing a sat phone. It's set. After testimony, extract. Cyprus by dawn. Escape? With feds outside? His machine ran deeper. Private jet. Bribed marshals? Cole burst in. Chokehold silent. I followed. Slamming the door.
Victor Spoon.
Eyes widening.
Boys.
Impromptu reunion. Save the TED Talk, I hissed. Snatching the phone. Logs. Cyprus flight. Numbered account wired fresh. Running? After the spin. He leaned back. Casual. Adapting. Testimony buys time. You provide distraction. Cole zip-tied him to the chair. Distraction ends now. The mic fed live to Elena, our ace. She patched to C-SPAN feed. Overriding with audio. Victor's Cyprus call. Crystal. Chaos erupted in the chamber, senators reconvening. Screens flickering to the breach. What the hell?
A dove banged gavel.
Cams swiveled. Gallery gasped. Victor thrashed.
Cut it.
Sabotage. Too late. Elena's voiceover, distorted. Full files incoming. Ours gate complete. The room fractured. Shouts. Aides scrambling. Security swarming. Public feed exploded. Viewers spiking. Exablaze. Kane caught mid-flip. Polls swung. 62% traitor. But controversy peaked. Was the hack legal? Vigilantes or journalists. We bolted. Cole frog-marching Victor as shield. Hallways a maze, elevators locked. Stairs pounding feet. Feds closed in. Freeze. Harlan. Shots. Warning. Ricochet off marble. Cole returned fire. Suppressed pops.
Go.
I'll hold. No. But he shoved me toward service door. Victor slung over shoulder like luggage. Outside.
Elena's van idled.
Tarek at wheel. Unlikely getaway man. We piled in. Tires screeching toward 495. Victor cursed. Chained in back. You fools. This changes nothing. Machine rolls on. Does it? I dangled the phone. Your accounts? Frozen by dawn. His laugh died hard. But the escape twisted. Chopper thup overhead. Victor's extract? Or feds? Cole's voice crackled radio. Clear. Rendezvous Baltimore. We ditched the van in a warehouse district. Transferred to a speedboat on the Chesapeake. Cole's contingency. Waves slapped hull. Dawn gilding the bay. Victor's silent now. Scheming eyes on horizon. Docking at a Solomon's Inlet safehouse, boathouse. Clabbered peeling. Tarek's family reunited. Omar hugging his uncle, Cole awkward. Elena arrived by water taxi. Laptop glowing. Files viral. Probes launching. DOJ.
Sick.
Victor chained to a bollard. Knees swollen purple. And you? Fugitives now. Hero to some. Terrorist to others. The divide he sowed. News feeds looped our raid. Grainy cell phone vid. Me hauling him. Cole covering. Debates raged. Justice porn versus. Domestic threat. Deploy guard? Cole patched wounds. Stitches from a med kit. We turn him. Full coupe. Or end it, I murmured. Glock heavy.
Elena overheard.
Horrified. Jack, no. That's his game. Victor's grin. Listen to the wife. Or X. Moral high grounds slippery. Tension coiled, climax's edge. Revenge demanded blood. Justice. Process. But process was Victor's wheelhouse. Lawyers. Delays. Flips. Cole sensed it. Vote. Tarek. The defector eyed his son. Playing with drone on deck. Justice. For Omar's future. Elena. Process. Leak more. Force trials. Cole. Neutralize. Clean.
Me?
The betrayed. The humiliated. We decide his fate. Like he decided mine. Hours ticked. Bay lapping judgment. Victor monologued. Charm offensive. Tales of ops saved. Lives spared. I built you.
Jack. Cole too.
Flawed fathers. But fathers. Doubt flooded. Was he monster or mirror? Ambition's dark twin? The room, no. The world, waited to pick sides. But ours was the call that'd spark eternal debate. As sun peaked, Chopper returned, not feds, but Victor's loyalist. Guns hot. Breach. Bullets splintering wood. Shouts Arabic accented. Cutouts, his Syrian ghosts. Chaos. Cole barking orders. Tarek shielding Omar. Elena firing a borrowed Beretta Wild. I grabbed Victor, dragging him deckside. Your cavalry? Insurance. He headbutted me. Chain rattling free. Slipped a pick? Flip again. Grabbing a rifle from the invader. Standoff on blood-slick planks, us versus them. Victor center. Gun swinging. Drop it. Or the kid gets it. Omar screamed. The moral gray peaked, no clean shot. No easy win. The boathouse deck became a slaughterhouse stage. Chesapeake wind whipping salt into wounds. Victor held the rifle loose. Cowboy casual. Barrel dancing between Omar's temple and my chest. His cutouts, 3 hard men, scarred like Tarek's nightmares, flanked.
AKs trained.
Cole covered behind an overturned crate. Elena clutching the kid. Tarek frozen in paternal hell.
Easy.
Vic, I said. Hands up. Blood trickling from the headbutt split. You shoot the boy. Your leverage evaporates. He smirked. Wind tousling silver. Leverage? That's your game.
Jack. Me?
I'm ending the sequel. A nod to his men, advance. Cole popped 2 suppressed rounds. 1 down.
Gurgling.
The others fired wild. Splintering air. Elena shoved Omar behind a piling. Returning fire, her shots tight. Lawyer's precision. Tarek lunged for a dropped pistol, clipping a thug's knee.
Me?
I dove for Victor. Tackling low, knee met my ribs. His scream mingling with mine. We rolled. Rifles skittering. Fists in the melee. You ungrateful shit. He clawed my throat. Eyes wild, not the polished exec, but the wolf unmasked. I gave you everything. Lies. I need his wound. Eliciting a bellow. Above. Cole cleared the last cutout, throat strike. Silent drop. The deck stilled. Bodies steaming in sun. Only our grunts echoing. Cole hauled Victor off. Zip fresh. Done playing. Panting. I stood. Talk. Cypress, who's waiting. Defiance cracked. No one. Bluff. But the machine. It doesn't stop. Elena emerged. Omar safe. Tarek binding wounds. Copter circling. Feds or yours? Victor spat blood.
Mine. Lojal till end.
We zip-tied the pilot mid-landing. Cole's intercept. Chopper blades whirring surrender. Inside, flight logs. More files. Patriot Veil's web. Tendrils to cartels. Big tech. The full rot. Decision time. Blades idling. Fly him to surrender, DC. Tarmac. Media swarm? Or deeper. Extract to Tarek's network. International probe? Public pulsed via Elena's tablet. Ours gated fever. Polls neck and neck. Arrest Kane versus. Reform the system. Spare the man. Debates fractured families. Bars. Feeds. Victor's a product. Blame the game. Versus. String him up. Cole. Surrender. Clean hands. Tarek. Exile him. Let justice be global. Elena. Trial here. Catharsis. Me. His choice. Like he gave me none. Victor laughed. Horse. Choice. In America? Illusion. Then. The flip, ultimate. Take me in. I'll testify full. Burn it all. Sincerity? Or ploy? Eyes pleaded. Broken king offering crown. We flew low. Chopper hugging bay to Andrews. Feds alerted anonymous. Tarmac swarm. Suits. Badges.
Cams.
Victor hobbled out. Hands cuffed voluntary. I'm turning states, he announced.
Migdikao.
The corruption. It's deeper than me. Flashbulbs popped apocalypse. We melted into the crowd. Ghosts again. Fallout cascaded. Arrests rippled. Senators indicted. Veil shuddered. Victor's testimony? A deluge, names. Schemes. The works. But flips persisted. He minimized his role, fingered rogue elements, us included. Harlan and Ramsey, the real instigators. Warrants renewed. We ran, Cole to a SEAL safe in Montana. Elena and I to a cabin in the Shenandoah. Ironic. Backwoods romance reboot. Nights by fire. She traced my scars. Was it worth it? Revenge? Half. I pulled her close. You?
All.
But Gray lingered. Public split eternal. Victor's book deal pending. Confessions of a Patriot, hero or heel. Polls. 51% necessary evil. Our silence fueled myth. Vigilantes canonized in podcasts. Demonized in editorials. Cold checked and encrypted. Vic's flipping again. Pardons whispered. If he delivers on China dirt. The machine. Unkillable. Then the twist. Package at the cabin anonymous. Tarek's script. Inside. Letter. Photo. Victor. In holding. Smiling with Omar. Uncle Vic pose. Note. He sponsored my citizenship. Quietly. For the boy.
Bum.
Victor. Monster who'd leveraged, but also saved. Tarek's addendum. Flawed man. Like us. Doubt's abyss. Had his mercy in Aleppo been real? My fall. A misstep amplified? Cole's cover. Loyalty twisted? Elena read over shoulder. The debate, he wasn't all wrong.
No.
But neither were we. The revenge? Pyrrhic. Sparking national reckoning, contractor reforms, oversight bills. Yet Victor walked free, pardoned by a grateful admin. For services. Last flip his call. Months later. Jack. Coffee? Old times. I hung up. Some debts uncollectible. Years blurred post-pardon. Deceased amnesia, a mercy and a curse. Victor resurfaced as consultant, think tanks, Fox gigs, spinning yarns of lessons learned, with that silver grin.
No yal.
Just slaps, fines, revoked clearances, a limp as badge. America forgave fast, scandals were seasonal, like flu.
Me?
Elena and I mended slow,
Scarred.
divorced papers shredded in a ceremony by the Potomac, rings swapped anew. She climbed to partner, specializing in ethics reform, irony's poetry. Cole vanished into private sector, exec protection for tech bros. But whispers said blacker gigs.
Tarek thrived in Queens, Omar at MIT.
Drone whiz. Gratitude notes. Annual. Ours became theirs. But the itch remained, revenge's echo. That whisper, ours a ghost in quiet moments. Public debate? Immortal. Books dissected us. Gray Patriots, bestseller. Film and dev. Forums eternal. Jack, right to shoot?
13 millions.
Sides entrenched. Victor built security. Jack destroyed trust. Versus. No justice without the kneecap. I wrote my version, memoir. Ghosted under pseudonym. Silent room, a reckoning. Dropped quiet. Sold steady.
Norichis.
But closures whisper. Then. The call. Victor's number. Blocked but spoofed. Jack. One last flip. Against better. I met him. Neutral. As always. Same Lincoln steps. Autumn leaves crunching judgment. He leaned on no cane now. Knee rehabbed to swagger. Older. Softer around edges, times tax. Harlan. Hand extended, not taken. Heard about the book. Fair shake. Fair.
Iset. Distant.
You pardoned.
Preaching.
I hid. He nodded. Lighting that damn Cuban band. But who cares? Fair's bullshit. But necessary?
Yeah.
The system's us, flaws and all. The gray. Again. Tarek says you sponsored Omar. Why?
Shrug.
Kid's future. America's bet.
Plus. Guilt. Pause. Real.
Aleppo, you cut corners. I amplified.
Tit for tat.
Confessions bomb. Partial. And Cole? Framed him too.
Worse.
Recruited. Knew he'd whisper. Eyes twinkled. Needed the spark. Manipulation's apex, he orchestrated the fall. The gala. The whisper? To expose himself? Or burn rivals? You played God, I said. Voice steel. God's fall. He exhaled smoke skyward. Came to offer peace. Job my firm. Advisory. Clean slate. Temptation's ghost.
Power.
Again. But Elena's ring-burned finger. Anchor. Cole's text. Pre-meet. Walk away.
No.
I stood. Your machine? I broke it. He rose.
Slow.
Did you? Look around. New veils rising. Truth stung. Reforms faded. Contractors boomed on fresh wars.
Our scandal?
Footnote. As I walked away, his voice trailed. Ours.
Jack.
Always. The twist landed then, not in blood, but reflection.
Revenge?
No winner. Victor lived opulent. Haunted.
Me?
Quiet life. Elena's laugh. Cole's rare beer. But the debate? Ours to fuel. Readers arguing ethics over wine. Ethics over coffee. Happy? Tragic?
Both.
America. Undivided in division. In the end, the room never unsilenced. It echoed. Eternal. With one word, ours.